Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, or the true leaders of Israel today. And salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who risking their lives and their freedom to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking at the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as they are the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalia, and this video is on current events, the times that we're in. So here it is that the brother Arrows of Indignation 144 posted, "Listen up, Esau has fired all the inspectors with dairy and meat. Summer of 2025 will indeed be hot." Now Esau refers to the so-called white man. They are the nation of Edom. They are the Edomites, and their forefather is Esau. And the scriptures say in the book of Malachi that Esau is the border of wickedness. So they are the wicked, and they are also currently in rulership. This is their kingdom. This is the kingdom of the Edomites that us, the Israelites, we're currently subject to. We're slaves to the Edomites right now, to the so-called white man. And as the wicked, they do wickedly. They do not establish the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemishai, which are righteous. So as a wicked, they do the opposite to that. And the state that we're in right now is literally the worst case scenario. You know what I'm saying? The wicked are in rulership, we're in captivity, and they have gone about and they have completely polluted the entire earth. The air is polluted, the water is polluted, the vegetation is polluted, the plants, everything, the animals on the land, the animals in the sea, the people, every single thing has been polluted and defiled by the so-called white man. And the scriptures say that he is the son of perdition, the son of destruction. And they have destroyed everything around us. It's like it's built to, affect us negatively. And several information has come out from every single kind of angle regarding what it is that this devil has been doing to this earth. And that is why we're able to claim, firstly because of the scriptures, but also from observing Esau's rulership, that they truly have defiled and destroyed the earth and polluted it completely. All right. And it starts from them not following the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemishai. Because when you follow the ways of Yahweh Shemishai, then you're prosperous. But when you do not, then you're left desolate. Okay. But there's a whole situation that's been going on, and this is why the scriptures call them the devil. Devil referring to deceiver, because Esau puts certain information out there, and then he doesn't put certain information out there. And now we're in a situation where we don't know what's true and what's not true, because the scriptures say to never trust thine enemy. And the Edomites are one of the enemies to Yahweh Shemishai and to the Israelites. So we can't trust them. We can't trust the so-called white man, to put it plain and simple, right? We can't trust them, okay? Any kind of information that they put out there, right? So what we do is that we filter everything that's going on by way of the scriptures of Yahweh Shemishai. So in Micah chapter 2 verse 10, it says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest." And this is not our rest, because this is not our kingdom. This is the kingdom of the wicked, because it is polluted, right? It is completely polluted. The world is polluted, everything, man. The food, all of these GMO foods, the air, all of the chemtrails, all of the way how they dispose of sewage into the sea and in other places. It's just the way how Esau has governed the world is just completely polluted, right? And then you have the people, which are terribly polluted, following the ways of the wicked. And what do the scriptures say about that? In Psalms chapter 12, And verse 8, the wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. So the vilest men are exalted. Were the wicked, the Edomites, the so-called white man, because they're in rulership. So when people are in a position of power, in this case, the nation of Edom, then the people look onto them and say, oh, let's be like them, let's follow their ways. They have the money, all these kinds of things, And so whatever it is that Esau in his position of power tells the people that they're allowed to do, which they tell the people that they're allowed to do wickedness, then the people follow those ways and the people are completely destroyed and going off and committing all kinds of abominable acts and doing all kinds of vile things. All right. So the wicked walk on every side. Indeed. So back to Micah 2 and verse 10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, and it shall destroy you even with a sore destruction. And it's destroying us, right? The food isn't providing us with enough nutrients, and as I said before, it's all GMO, right? And just everything around us. The water that we bathe in, the toothpaste, you know what I'm saying? And these are things that can be said because information has come out over time regarding what the devil has done to all kinds of things, right? In several products that you can find in the grocery store, you have to really be careful and you have to read the label. And even then, you can't even be too sure. That's why you have to pray over everything that you eat. Because in several of these products, Esau, Edom will find a way to sneak pork or some kind of abominable food into it. And you're sitting up here thinking like, why does it even need this? Or why would they even put it in there? You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of like the product itself, but it's just added into it for whatever reason. And the reason is so that it can keep the people defiled, because we're not supposed to eat pork or any of those abominable foods, which goes back to the dietary laws, which are part of the laws of Yahweh Shemishai. And they do not upkeep any of the laws, so they don't upkeep the dietary laws, and then they intentionally pollute the Israelites. This is the devil, man. This is the enemy, right? And Esau Edom has a very great hate for our people. It is a perpetual hatred, so they will do anything to keep us defiled and going off, right? So it says to depart. And so we cannot just physically leave. You know what I'm saying? It is to depart mentally, spiritually, right? To leave the mindset of this world and to return to our power, Yahweh Shemishai. That is what is at hand, right? Because right now the Lord has, the doors of mercy are still open right now. And it's time to depart, man. And only a fool would want to stay in this vile, wicked world and want to be joyous in it. As the scriptures say in Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 4, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, the heart of the wise, right? So the wise have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shemishai, have the eye salve to know and to see what it is, this predicament that we're in, right? And to have knowledge of the Lord, okay? So once you have knowledge of Yahweh Shemishai, and only an Israelite can receive this message, then you'll automatically go into the house of mourning, right? Because the scriptures say to eat this whole roll. And then first it was sweet and then it was bitter, because there's a sweet part of it, finding out that we're the Israelites and everything that has already been bestowed upon us by Yahweh Shemishai, we're just waiting for it to come. But then there's also a bitter part, knowing that we're in captivity, knowing that we went off, and that's why we're in captivity and all these kinds of things, and knowing that Esau Edom is a so-called white man. But then there's also more joyous news to know that this kingdom will pass away, that this situation that we're in will not last forever, as the scriptures say, that the fashion of this world passeth away, and that the things that we see are temporal. So the situation that we're in, the world and how it's governed and how it is, it will all be done away with, man. And that's a joyous thing to know for those of us that sincerely believe. So here it is, another situation, just, the devil being the devil, fair use?
They no longer inspecting it. They're no longer inspecting milk or dairy products. Okay, as of Monday, they suspended the inspections of milk and other dairy products due to, check this out, the firing of 20,000 individuals from the Health and Human Services, which also houses the FDA, which is responsible for these inspections. So to help out with this, they're going to hire contractors to help the personnel that is still there. So instead of them just keeping the people that they hire, they're going to pay more money to contractors to do these inspections. When that will happen, we have no idea. But I will advise anybody that's still drinking milk to not drink any milk.
For the safety and health of your family and friends, please do not skip through this video. Without proper QC testing in place, it's only a matter of time before people die. I'll try to keep this as short as possible. But the FDA, the Trump administration, RFK Jr. has rolled back a ton of QC testing. There's E. coli outbreaks throughout the country right now. Bird flu is still rampant. There's stuff going on that the news is not reporting, the FDA is not allowed to tell you, that the CDC is not allowed to tell you.
And why would they do this? Why would you not warn the people of this kind of situation that can lead to death? Because they're the wicked. It's as simple as that. The Israelites in our kingdom, first of all, we won't even be in these kind of predicaments because the last 7 commandments of Yahweh Shemishai will be established. Everything will be in perfect order, right? You get what I'm saying on our end. And then the heathen, we're going to have to, get them up to speed. But the scriptures also say that they will want to learn our ways. So they are going to be willing, But like all of these diseases and plagues that come up and all these kinds of things, it ain't going to be in the kingdom of Israel, okay? But the wicked, but the point is, even if so, if there were a situation that would negatively affect the people, that would lead them to death by way of food consumption or anything, then naturally, us being the righteous, we would warn them. But the wicked won't do that. They will let the people consume it, knowing that it's polluted and defiled. And then they will allow the people to perish from it. This is the wicked. The so-called white man.
Tell you what's going on right now. This is important for the health and safety of you and your loved ones. First and foremost, the news is not reporting there is a deadly E. coli outbreak in 15 states right now. People are going to die. The FDA is not publicizing this because RFK Jr. and the Trump administration told them not to. This is serious. This is a serious outbreak. We've had outbreaks like this before, not as serious, that were a big deal all over the news. This is more serious. Someone's going to die. A couple people almost died. This is a big deal. How did we get here? Well, I'm going to tell you how we got here. The FDA suspended food quality control checks. Essentially, they're saying we don't have the staff. We got cut. Our funding got cut. Our staff got cut. And we don't have the manpower to safety check your food anymore. The big one just yesterday, the FDA suspended milk quality control checks. Right? What child in this country doesn't drink milk? I'm a man of a certain age. I still drink milk. They suspended milk testing. There was something called the Food Emergency Response Network that involved QC testing of various food products grown in the U.S. and that are also imported into the U.S. That got cut because of funding and staffing, because of the Trump administration. Wonder why we haven't heard about bird flu recently? It's still out there, and it's pretty serious. RFK Jr. told CDC officials to stay silent on bird flu transmissions and to not test farmers who are showing symptoms of bird flus. If you're a farmer and you happen to see this and you don't feel good, I would demand a bird flu test. Also not reported by the news. The CDC dismantled teams tracking accidental deaths and STDs. Does the Trump administration not want us to know if we get an STD? The EPA was ordered to stop mandating greenhouse gas emission measurements, meaning, we don't have to track that anymore. We'll just pollute the skies. We'll go above whatever levels that were set. This is extremely serious. People are going to die this summer. People are going to die from E. coli outbreaks or whatever else, salmonella. Okay, we have the tools to test this stuff. You never hear about when food gets contaminated and we catch it and we stop it from going out the door. That happens a lot. And they catch it, but you don't hear about it. You only hear about it when it gets out the door. And now you're not even hearing about that. There's an E. coli outbreak in 15 states, and the FDA was told not to tell you.
This is just the wicked. There's no other explanation to it. And this is why this man has to be put out of rulership. Esau is not fit to rule. He's not. Okay? And that's why the Lord gonna put him out. Okay? And the scriptures say, where is it at? Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 8, because of unrighteous dealings, this is a very unrighteous dealing. And there are many more. This is just probably just a little tip of knowing. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's so much. I'm sure there's so much more. Because this devil really is going to bring chaos to the world to establish his NWO with the microchip at the forefront of it. So he's going to be bringing death and chaos in all kinds of different ways. It talks about it in Revelation chapter 6 verse 8. Okay? So because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, right? So as it is written, so it shall be. And then, based off of Bible prophecy and the times that we're in, we know that pestilences are well on their way. 2 Ezra chapter 15. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. 2 Ezra chapter 16. Salakia. That was 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 5. Now 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the part shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. And it is out of Jacob's trouble that the elect of the nation of Israel will be delivered out of, right? So all of these things are going to be happening during that period of time, which is approaching very soon. So the plagues and the pestilences, you can clearly see that they are building up, whether it be the bird flu or the E. coli or the Ebola or the Marburg virus or the Henipa virus that they said that they found in Alabama, or any kind of situation, the quademic or whatever, it's coming. Okay, something is coming, right? And so, going back to the Micah 2 and verse 10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, this is not our rest. So return to our power, Yahweh, Shemisha, and hope for salvation, right? Because we're of the hopeful elect, we hope to be saved. We're not saved as yet. We'll know if we're saved when Yahushua returns, right? But we're of the hopeful elect, and you should hope to be saved. You should be hoping to be preserved from the perils that are coming, the judgments that are coming from Yahweh Shemishai. And according to Yahushua in the scriptures, Yahushua said that what shall be the end of the times, right? And what shall be the signs when the disciples asked him in Matthew 24, and he said that you shall see rumors of wars, kingdom rising against kingdom, nation against nation, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places, and these are the beginning of sorrows. So the earthquakes already are happening, and based on those empty shelves that are coming, for not just food but just products in general and all kinds of things, chaos is on its way. But the earthquakes are happening, the pestilences are here, and will be rampaging very soon, and then the famine as well. And these are just the beginning of sorrows, as Yahushua said. So it's coming. With that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai, by Shema Kodesh. Shalom.